Rosebud.
How are you?
I am doing better now that I'm here with you and the wonderful Do We Have To crew. Welcome to another episode of Do We Have To, a marriage podcast. I'm your host, Sean.
I'm Emily.
It's a not actual family studio production. Executive producer is Colin. Happy birthday, birthday boy, Schmedium Maskell. Our executive producer turns 39 today.
Yeah, it's a big day.
He's being pretty reasonable this year. Minimum amount to spend on gift is only $250, which is about $150 down from the last year. So Colin's obviously recognizing these tough economic times that we're dealing with.
Right.
Dealing with inflation, tariffs, geopolitical turmoil, and Colin is willing to sacrifice for that. And for that, I say to Uncle Colin, thank you so much. And thank you again for being the executive producer. We hope you have a wonderful, wonderful birthday, and hopefully we get an invite. I haven't seen anything in the mail yet. Have you, Em?
No.
But
Colin doesn't really celebrate
holding
his
out hope.
birthday.
Well, that's what he tells us. It just seems like, I don't know. There's always a lot of cars by his house when I drive by listening to emo music on his birthday.
And I'm pretty sure he would take a gift that's like $2.50, not $250.
I didn't put the minimum on the gift requirement, so
That's all him.
that is him. Yep.
Okay.
I listen to Colin. I listen to how his lawn should be cut. I listen to how much I should spend on his gifts. I do what he tells me to do because he is the executive producer. And I'm pretty sure this morning on text, when I did say happy birthday, Colin, what was his response?
That it's executive producer to you, sir.
Okay, so you heard it here. Do We Have To crew? Emily can
Yeah.
attest to this, who tends to think that
that
I'm
is-
hard on Uncle Colin. Uncle Colin
That's
did
not
respond.
Sean being dramatic. That's
That actually happened.
happened.
Yep. And we got a wonderful show today, guys. We're going to continue on to our communication, overall relationship hygiene topics that we've been on. And, the last couple of weeks have been really talking about communication and those sort of items. This week, we're really going to dive into what are habits or daily things that we're doing as couples, especially in this world, that can have a negative effect or essentially sabotage our relationships. And it's things all couples do, including myself and Emily. Mm-hmm. And we're going to go over that. We did the research and we got those kind of daily things for people to be mindful of. I'm sure some of these will seem very elementary or like, oh, yeah, I know that. But give some more detail on how they can negatively affect you or cause issue, and something to be more mindful of in those relationships.
Yeah, because not all of them are meant, like sometimes you don't mean to have it happen, but it does.
I think that you make a good point, is that intention, right? I think all these things, when we go through them, it's not necessarily the intention is to cause harm to the people that we care about or we love. It's really more about, I don't know, being a human being and dealing with the day. But I think if we're more aware of these are the main things that can have a negative impact or cause a rift between you and a partner or put you in a rut, they're things to be more mindful of about how you approach them.
Right.
So, yeah, we got that. We also have, we're going to get back to 90s nostalgia once again. We are going to continue getting deep between Emily and I. We're going to be doing a deeper card today. And we'll continue to, guys, update you on our Peloton team as well. And again, this show is brought to you on youtube.com/DoWeHaveTo, a marriage podcast. So continue to watch on YouTube, like, subscribe, all of that wonderful good stuff.
Yeah. Are
you on the next page of the packet? I tell you, Emily figured out, and I'm very appreciative of this, she figured out how to fix the printer. We had a printer issue. I know we've been talking about that the last couple of weeks.
I think I should start being a tech person, because I fixed the situation that was going on with your dad's cell phone and Uncle Greg's phone. Mm-hmm. And
you're very
figured
handsy.
that out. And then I figured out the printer. It may have taken me a week to figure it out, but I did it. And it took me 3 hours plus several days to figure out the phone thing. But once I was on the path, it only took a couple of hours to fix the phone. But the printer was just a fit of rage at 10:30 at night. I've got to fix the printer.
Did you call tech support when you worked it?
The printer?
Yeah.
No.
So you did that all on your own.
I did that all on my own.
And
you know what happens with tech support for an HP printer at home?
What's that?
They send you a little chat bot, and it says,
like
are
an
you
AI?
having this problem? No. Are you having this problem? Yes. If you're doing this, go here. If you're doing this, go here. Was this helpful?
A lot of times
no,
it's not helpful.
Mother effer. No, it was not helpful. And no, I about threw my cell phone across the room with their non-person idiotic AI.
I will say
chatbot.
AI is very useful, especially when it comes to efficiency. I know a lot of people are concerned about jobs and those sorts of things, but I do think it can help a lot.
No, because
where I don't
people
think we've quite
have
hit
a
the
brain.
market is the F&A or whatever, the support channel of
Right, because
AI.
every time I would put other
worst suggestions ever.
in, like, if this is your problem, and then they have like an other box, and I click hitting other, like expecting somebody to like get online because it's 24/7 support.
Yep.
No.
You know what this is, though? It's all those dickheads that get on a call, and it'd be somebody from a different country that can speak English, but they have an accent, and people are assholes to them all the time. No. Why they move away from this stuff? Well, number one, because it costs. But number two, people bitch and complain about having to deal with, I want to talk to somebody who can speak English, kind of like,
I would have talked to
here, guess what, guys?
They could have been talking to me in Spanish.
We're living that solution to this, and it's not fun. I think every AI.
Well, we're not the only country that uses
Q&A.
AI.
No. I'm talking about the support. AI support for companies is just not there yet, and it's very frustrating. I would much rather deal with a human being because it never even takes me to a topic that even makes sense.
Anyways, I was very proud of myself.
Hey, the computer lights on fire when I go to your site. It just completely freezes and shuts down. Oh, you need a password change? Okay, password change. Let's just get that started for you. So, it's 12 characters. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, no. Start over. And I just want to pull I don't have any hair. But I would pull it out if I had it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is something else. Hey, really quick before we go too crazy.
Yeah.
What is the TV show you were watching last night?
Oh, We Were Liars.
We Were Liars. So
it was a book.
Okay, it was a book.
And it's actually it's a 2-part series, I believe. If there's a third one out there, I need to know about it now. But it's a book that I read several years ago, but I pick it up often, and I've read it several times now. And this story is terrific. Like, it's just a terrific story. I didn't see the ending happen in the book.
Yeah.
And that doesn't happen to me very often. And when it does happen, I latch onto it. And so,
Got it. And TV show holds up to the book.
It did. I cried like a baby, and I don't cry in movies and TV. And I cried my eyes out last night, at the end of the show. They did great. They did a great job.
I'm sure I would like the show if I watch it. It's just not my cup of tea to sit down and say, I have to watch this. But what I can attest to you, Do We Have to Crew, is that it is so good that you would watch that over your planned lovemaking with your husband. So
Yeah, I did.
And I will say, the Santa's Garden candle, I broke the seal on that. And I also had a great R&B list from 1995 that I was going to break out. But I'm glad that you enjoyed your show. And I took no offense to it at all. And
Bullshit.
I'm sure I know I handled it like a gentleman and a man.
Bullshit. It's fine.
90s nostalgia.
Just FYI, though, I am not the reason you have the black eye, though. I feel like I should say that.
If you're going to keep going on banner time, Colin's going to have to fire one of us on his birthday. And while I think he would get great joy out of that.
I mean, he technically threatened to fire me over the weekend of the softball tournament. So.
Okay, black eye. Do I need to? Well, I guess it could be kind of a small Sour Patch Kid moment. We're at
It's
the pool
total
last
Sour
week.
Patch
I
Kid.
guess, kind of. It's kind of weird. We're at the pool last week. My son and my daughter are wrestle around in the pool, in our neighborhood pool, and I'm kind of by them because we do the dunking and the roughhousing kind of stuff.
They
And
go
I'm sure
crazy.
annoy a lot of people, but we do it away from everybody, right? For the most part.
You try to.
Or at least try to be mindful of it. Tegan accidentally punched Seamus at some point, and this is where I wasn't engaged with them, but I wasn't paying attention to that, so I started coming back over to grab Seamus, and I think he didn't. Either way, he got punched. He took a swing out at her, and when he took a swing at her, I got in the way and got hit right in the eye. So my son punched me in the eye, and I didn't think anything of it. It didn't really hurt. And honestly, I mean, I felt him hit me, and I'm like, whoa, what is going on? Why are you doing that? We do not punch. We wrestle around. And he's like, why did you hit me? And I think he thought I hit him. And I don't think he was aiming at me. I think he just took a swing after somebody swung at him.
Yeah.
But he was like, did you hit me? And I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And then Tegan was like, I hit you. And then throwed.
Yeah, it's a throat punch kind of day.
Yep. So it was another successful day at the Miller, for the Miller family at the pool. And you know the sad thing is, I've had 2 black eyes in my life, and on the same eye, and it's been from my son, and the other one's been from my brother after I beat the living shit out of somebody at a bar because they punched him. Connor, my wonderful brother, so I guess let me back up for a second. I don't want to go too long, but we were at a wonderful bar in North Platte, Nebraska.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
I think
we're getting the whole
statutes of limitations, I think we're good at this point.
I don't know.
It was called The Hub, and we were there with family. And long story short, they have those digital jukeboxes. Well, if you put in a couple extra bucks, you can play your song first, right? Mm-hmm. Well, we were there by ourselves. I mean, there's nobody in there. And all of a sudden, it was like 11:30, 12 o'clock. All these young kids, I say young kids, it's funny, 21-year-olds are coming in from drinking all night, and they're all drunk, and they're having a good time. They start playing their fucking, rock music, which I love rock music too. But I mean, like, that's all they were listening to. And we already had our playlist, and I was like, man, we were going to listen. The Backstreet Boys was like the next song. So I went in, I got $3 from Papa Ron. I popped that in the jukebox and did Backstreet Boys. Well, Connor and I are standing up there, and all of a sudden this girl comes up, and she's like, you got to stop skipping our songs. And I was like, we're not skipping them. We spent more money so we could play the song next. Sorry, we were listening to a ton of music before you guys came. There was just one song we want to listen to. She goes, you took my money, you skipped my song.
I'm pretty sure she didn't sound like that.
She did. This is exactly how she sounded. Actually, honestly, I'm giving it a little less twang than what she gave, okay?
Okay.
And then she's like, Earl, they're skipping our songs. I'm pretty sure her boyfriend's name was Earl. And so then this guy comes over, huge fucking belt buckle, pulling his pants up, looking all tough, shoulders getting big, like, he'd been working out like Uncle Colin. And he comes over, and she goes, they skipped our songs, just like that. And he looks at us, and he goes, we don't skip songs around here. And Connor, in his infinite wisdom, and Connor at the time was like,
young,
5'11", 135 pounds, okay? But Connor, in his infinite wisdom, as if in the scene of Tombstone, when they're at the OK Corral and fucking Val Kilmer winks at the guy and it causes a shootout, Connor looks at the guy and laughs right in his face in front of his girlfriend. Yeah. So this idiot hauls off and punches Connor. So then I punched him, and then I grabbed him and drove him into a table, and he's all bloodied up. Yep. Well, as I'm on top of this guy, I turn around, and I just see Connor running like crazed, like Daniel Day-Lewis in fucking Last Mohicans. But instead of a gun, he's got his arm up like this, which I don't know how you effectively punch anybody doing this. Can't. But he's running across the bar, and this is the motion, by the way, I saw. He's running across the bar like a wave. And all of a sudden, that fist comes down and just connects right in my fucking face. So, 2 times I've ever been hit. I've not taken any damage from anybody else. I didn't take any damage that night, except from my brother. Mm-hmm. And now I've gotten a shiner from my son. So, I wear it with a badge of honor. Apparently, it just doesn't work out with my family. 90s nostalgia.
Yeah.
So, a couple of interesting events, foods. I found for this week of June, it's like June 16th through the 23rd or whatever, or the.
I don't even.
Yeah, just go with me. It's the week of, guys. It's summer. Just give us a moment, okay? But hey, in 1990, on June 21st, which is a part of this past week, a devastating 7.7 magnitude earthquake struck northern Iran near the Caspian Sea, resulting in approximately 50,000 fatalities and over 135,000 injuries. Do you remember that at all?
I don't.
I don't remember that either. But granted, I was 6. But like a lot of times when a big earthquake happens, I mean, obviously, I know it was world news, but I don't remember it. There's a math one, and I only did this because I love Uncle Jeff, and I don't even know if him or Uncle Keith would know this, and they're mathematicians, basically.
I've never even heard of it.
June 21st, 1992, Andrew Wiles proved Fermat's last theorem after 356 years, marking a monumental achievement in mathematics. Could you imagine working on something?
What is that?
I don't know. I should have looked it up beforehand, but honestly, the fact that they took them 356 years to prove out this theorem and work it.
I would have given up after a day.
Well, I feel like it probably deserves the research, but I was like,
Uncle
spending
Jeff,
10 minutes is too long.
me
Shout out Uncle Jeff.
within,
Just math.
I need some education on what that means in English, not in math.
Yeah, we'll have to ask him. Maybe one day we'll have him on the show.
I feel like that could get, like, if it took 356 years to make
Not make,
prove, then I feel
they've
like
been
that would be
working
a
on it for
really long
356
conversation, and I just don't know that there's enough.
That's a long ass time.
I don't know that there's enough hydration to handle that conversation.
Yeah, agreed.
Maybe not. Maybe I don't need an education.
On June 21st in 1996, Walt Disney Pictures released probably my least favorite Disney movie I've ever watched, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, one of its darker animated films. And it did get positive reviews. It's just not my cup of tea.
I actually never saw it, so I don't
You never
know.
seen it? I mean, I'm sure it's fine.
I know what
like it better now.
Quasimodo looks like, but like I don't know the movie.
Sure. It just wasn't my cup of tea.
Yeah.
1997, June 21st, Women's National Basketball Association held its inaugural game, which, by the way, WNBA now is
awesome.
Getting pretty dope. Honestly, the fighting and the fucking
Love
shit
it.
talking that's been going on reminds me a lot of the late 90s, mid to late 90s NBA, and I think it's fantastic.
Me too.
WNBA, do not fucking touch it. Let these women treat basketball like it's also partially kind of hockey. Let them fucking do their thing. It is dope to watch.
It shows you like their passion. I don't know.
I
think
it.
Women's sports, the more contact sport it gets, like it shows that you can be just as tough as anybody else out there, and it shows the amount of passion that you have for what you're doing. And when you put little white gloves on it and make everybody play nice in the sandbox, like that's not what.
And I think there's men's sports that are kind of going
is.
in that direction, whereas now you have this product that's differentiated from the others because they're fucking not taking shit. They're going after each other. And I love it. It's fantastic. So that first game actually was played between the New York Liberty and Los Angeles Sparks, which I thought was fun because it's the two major cities in the country. New York Liberty won the game 67-57. First points were scored by Los Angeles Sparks guard Penny Toller. Penny Toller scored the first basket, but she wasn't the leading scorer of the game. The leading scorer of the game was Teresa Witherspoon. Teresa Witherspoon, she played at Louisiana Tech, and I do remember her. And I also remember her because she just coached the Chicago Sky, which is Angel Reese's WNBA team, who is Caitlin Clark's rival. And she got fired. She did one season, but she just coached. So that was the leading scorer of the first WNBA game, was the coach of the Chicago Sky.
Nice.
Yeah, isn't that dope?
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool. But yeah, she played at Louisiana Tech University from 84 to 88. So when I was born, she was playing college basketball and the coach of the Chicago Sky for the 23-2024 season.
Yeah, I've never really watched basketball because I kind of thought it was a little boring for both men and women. But I've done a lot of research in.
It's fucking dope now.
Well,
you've watched The Last Dance.
But I've started to watch more of it because it's
90s basketball, men's basketball was awesome. The bad boys out of Detroit, Dennis Rodman, I could think Sean Kemp, Gary Payton, like those guys, and obviously Michael Jordan, Pippen, they all went after each other. And I mean, the stuff, they would be kicked out of the league for the shit they were doing to each other regularly that they are. You know what I mean? So
I think I got more interested in basketball when we started watching that docuseries for
The Last Dance?
Yeah.
And there's a whole episode on how Detroit basically had rules where they beat the fucking piss out of Michael Jordan. It's called the Jordan rules. And so that wouldn't happen today. I mean, everything's kind of gone. Since that, I don't know if you remember that Ron Artest situation where they basically got into the stands and started fighting the fans it seems like since that period of time, things have really been backed off. But you can see the physicality with football because of the lawsuits and those sorts of things. That's starting to get dialed back. But I think there's things that are good and there's bad with it. But like, I don't know. It's nice seeing a competitive fire. That's why it's fun watching WNBA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I like hockey and football and soccer. So, because women's soccer is pretty scrappy too.
I agree. I fucking love the women's sports right now. I think they're fantastic. Even the track and field stuff, like watching the sprinters and shit, the vibe they give off is dope. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Last thing on the 90s. So we saw a rise of colorful and novelty snacks. And I thought these two were fun. So there was test markets in June of 91 for Gushers. And it doesn't mean they weren't being sold at a different time or what the official release was, but they had them going out at test markets in June, according to the research, as well as Dunkaroos.
I don't know what that is.
It's basically like, what are those circus cookies that we would get in the boxes when we were a kid all the time? It had the picture of the circus.
Just animal crackers?
Animal crackers. So it was kind of like an animal cracker in the shape of a kangaroo head or a face or a body or whatever.
Okay.
And you dip it basically into icing.
Into icing?
It was like a little open up container. They had chocolate or vanilla, and you dip it in and eat it. So kind of like those Nutella sticks, but with like animal cracker cookie that was a kangaroo.
Interesting.
Fucking dope.
Okay.
It's only a wonder how I got up to 376 pounds before I started losing weight. Yeah. So
I wonder why I never had one of those.
I mean, I don't know, maybe, well, I was on the East Coast during that time. So I don't know if that mattered, but I know they sold them out here because Connor used to eat them all the time when we were in the Midwest.
Well, we also had like snack cake. Like,
yeah.
My dad worked for a company that audited like all the snack cakes across.
Yeah, Papa worked for Hostess.
No, he worked for IBC.
Which is, well, did they own
but
Hostess
they
or
owned,
something? That's what it was.
They owned like Hostess and Butternut and Drake and...
Yes.
Everything basically
be going
but
out to
Little
those,
Debbie.
Manufacturers.
Yeah. And so we
That's true. You've never had a Little Debbie like till you met me, right? Because I was a Little Debbie family. Like we were pro Little Debbie, not Hostess.
We weren't allowed to have Little Debbie.
Sorry, I think Papa.
I did have Little Debbie at my grandparents' house, at my dad's parents' house. They had the Little Debbie, the peanut butter chocolate wafer. What the hell are they called?
What are those called? I don't remember. I'm sorry.
Is it a Nutter Butter? No,
could be a Nutter Butter. We were very much like the brownie, the Cosmo brownie if they had it, and I don't think those came out to the later 90s. And then Swiss cake rolls.
Yeah, so we had
love to fuck with Swiss cake rolls. Yeah, exactly. Oh God, the Swiss cake roll version of Hostess is the worst thing ever. It's terrible. They should have stopped at the Twinkie. They had it figured out at the Twinkie, just like Oreos. You don't need to make 20 versions of the cookie. You made the perfect cookie.
Don't remember what they taste like.
Twinkies?
Yeah.
They're delicious golden cake with cream filling in them. I don't understand.
But I don't know that I ever liked a Twinkie. I think the Twinkie was like the worst. That's
possible. Well, the chocolate frosted cupcakes were good.
Is that the zinger thing?
With the little lines of icing on. God, I sound so fat.
Me too.
Little fat boy in me is just want to get out.
What is the one that had no frosting, but it was like a fluffy Oreo?
Fluffy Oreo?
It was like chocolate cake with stuff in the middle and then chocolate cake.
Oh, the cake thing. God, what was that? But it was like an elongated round, like vibrator shape, right?
God, I don't think so.
No? Okay. It was like a little log, like a little log, right? Like that. And it was like a sandwich. I know what you're talking about. I just can't remember.
I don't remember what it's called, but those.
Anyway, these were some novelty foods that were out during that time. So hopefully that took you guys down a little bit of memory lane before we got into the weeds there.
Now I know what I'm going to eat for breakfast. No, I'm kidding.
That would, oh God, it would make us so sick now.
Well, and the fact that we don't even have any of that in this house.
It's one thing about the gastric bypass. It's not an easy surgery, so it's in no way want to say like, oh, you should just do this and it fixes it. It does not. No. It takes a ton of work after the fact of getting in shape. Like all those things still apply to the real world. Now, one thing it does do a good job of though is if you eat a lot of sugar, it makes you not feel well.
Sick. Yeah.
Yep, your body just doesn't process it the same way, which is a good thing. So yeah, that would probably make me want to lay down for an extended period of time.
It's too early for that.
Yeah, it's nice being nostalgic and getting deep in the 90s, but it is time for you and I to get deep with each other for another edition, another round, may have you, of Let's Get Deep.
Yeah.
Let's Get Deep is a game by a company called By Relatable. It is actually been used on multiple TV shows.
They have different versions of it, yeah.
They do have different versions of it. It was just recently on Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, shown on Hulu, which I would highly recommend and has nothing to do with the show.
Nope.
In no sort of way, but it is a great show. And they actually used a version
drama.
for Friends on that. So you got these various moms that started this TikTok channel. They were actually doing questions with the one. We were doing the one on relationships, but they even have one about sexy time, or at least, I guess, intimacy. And you can buy those at Amazon or Target. And they have
I think it's called After Dark.
There you go. Thank you. It is, there's 3 types of cards. There's Icebreaker, Deep, and Deeper. Obviously, the questions get more involved as you get to the deeper. And today we're doing a deeper card.
Yeah.
What we got, Em?
Do you like surprises? Why or why not? I hate them.
Why?
Because I have no control over it.
Fair. Okay. Well, I guess that's probably what the crux is, right? Are you okay with change? Are you okay with not having full control of the situation? And that's something to pick up on. That's actually a
I
good
am
question.
okay with change, but I have to know that it's happening. I have to know that it's coming.
And meaning you have to approve it.
Right. I don't like surprises. I don't like to be the center of attention in that way. I don't like to be thrown off guard. I like to have my guard up at all times.
Sure. Yeah. I like surprises. I like being surprised. I guess the caveat to that is, what is a surprise? But I like, if somebody did something for me or got something for me, or if we went somewhere unexpectedly, I would be good at it as so long, I guess at this point in my life, unless I went to like my mindset of like, we can't afford this.
Right.
I think I've poo-pooed some surprises before, not been in a good mood about them because I'm worried about our money, which is shitty. But I do overall love surprises. But it tends to your point, all of a sudden that lack of control is there, and it's like, well, what do we have to do to accommodate for this?
Right.
You know, which is why I'm always so appreciative of the fact that Colin always puts a minimum of what we need to spend on the gifts, because I can prep for that all year. And he does make sure on January 1st, that's the first text I usually get from him is, here's my minimum for my birthday gift this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's nice. But yeah, see, these cards are great, whether they're kind of an elongated question or something that requires a lot of thought and conversation, or something that you can answer really quick off the cuff. It does give you an insight of your partner or somebody you're dating or your friend in a way that you didn't think of before. You know, obviously these things, they're on the surface asking for something specific, but like you can kind of dive down and, you know, work through some red flags, things that you can talk about not only between each other, but in counseling, all those sorts of things. It's a fantastic game. I highly recommend
and
it.
I feel like a person that loves surprises always marries somebody that doesn't.
You're like Kevin Spacey in Horrible Bosses. Remember when Kevin Spacey walks in and opens the door and they're like, surprise. And he's like throwing his bag on the ground. He's like, God damn it, she got me again, you know, or whatever. And he's like, I hate surprises. And then he's like trying to act like everything's fine with everybody. I feel like that's you.
I'm not that mean.
No, I'm kidding. But that was a great scene though, right? But then there's that kind of person. And then there's the people that are excited because like, we got you, surprise. This is great. Surprises are the best. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know.
Remember when you tried to throw me a surprise party?
And I think it was very successful, with the exception that you didn't enjoy it. Everybody else seemed to have a really good time.
Also, remember when you tried to throw a surprise vow renewal? That didn't end well either.
Surprise vow renewal? I mean, that went off pretty okay.
It started out okay, and
I even
then
got my buddy...
people made you tell me so that I knew.
Oh yeah. That is true. That's kind of funny. So yeah, to your point, I guess you answered the question very authentically, because I did plan on renewing vows with Emily kind of after we got through our rough spot that we've talked about in earlier episodes of our wonderful show. Do we have to?
Well, it was our 10 years.
Yeah, and actually, even a friend of mine that I played football with in high school that goes around the country, does speaking events, and runs a church in Florida, Ben, how he actually came in town and did it for us and everything.
It was
but yeah,
awesome.
To Emily's mom's credit, she's the one who talked to me about, Gigi talked to me about, hey, you might want to give her a heads up, just because, not because it's not a great idea or anything. It's just, you want her to enjoy it the best she can. She's not going to handle it if she just walks into a place and is unexpectedly doing her vow renewals. So when I told you, I think it went really well, right?
Yeah, no, it did.
And all the things I had prepped for the surprise worked out. It's just a matter of the fact that it was a surprise and you weren't prepared for it was the issue.
Right. I had like 2 days to find a dress and all of that. But it was fine. It worked out.
Okay. Yep.
I enjoyed it.
So there you go, guys. Learn from us. Vow renewals, probably not a good idea to try to surprise for that.
Unless you have every
Trying to do the
detail
Modern
figured
Family
out.
move. We just didn't have Hawaii, you know?
Yeah. No. No.
Okay. Well, that's fair enough.
But it was beautiful and I loved it.
You know what else is beautiful?
What?
Continuing to grow our relationship through communication, through learning about each other, through research, really, and finding out what are the things we're doing on a regular basis that have a negative impact on us and allow us to correct it. And we're going to move into that here, specifically talking about kind of what the, daily saboteurs are of relationships. And, guys, I highly recommend a lot of the research we're doing. It keeps referring us back to the Gottman Institute. Mm-hmm. So if you're just looking to do just general research or dive in deeper to the things we talk about, because we're not going to, make you spend 3 hours listening to podcasts, and nobody would anyway. The Gottman Institute is definitely one that I think is very, very helpful. The 4 Habits Institute as well. I think it's called an institute, but the 4 Habits site. But the Gottman Institute, they've been around for a long time. They've done a ton of research when it comes to relationships and provide a ton of good research. And that's a lot of what we got from today, right?
Yeah.
We touched on this last time on communication, but it dives really deep into this. So the first thing I want to do is these habits have an effect or are really associated with Gottman's 4 horsemen of relationship breakdown. So really a lot of the things we'll talk about, we're going to go into the daily habits that are related to causing this, this setup. So there's 4 of them. Okay. One is criticism, which is attacking a partner's character instead of addressing specific behaviors, really attacking the person, not the problem.
Which I think everybody does.
We do. And I'm terrible about it. Like I've been trying so hard. Have you noticed lately I'm trying to do I statements and I'm struggling. It is such an easy thing to throw something off to you or
Same.
You know what I mean? And I've been, you can tell I'm struggling because I try to stop myself and then I'm like, I just feel, and it's hard. And again, this shit takes work, which again, why it's like a lot of us know it. Well, you know how to do it, but you don't. So I think it helps to do it or be more mindful of it if you know how much it's fucking up your relationship.
Yeah.
Contempt. Expressing disdain through sarcasm, mockery, or hostile humor. What I did when we initially started recording and then had to re-record, that is definitely 150% what I did there. And I very much apologize for that. And that's why this second rendition of the show has gone so much better. Defensiveness, avoiding responsibility and counter-blaming.
I do that all the time.
Stonewalling, withdrawing from communication, often leading to emotional disengagement.
Do that all the
time.
So
all these things that we're talking about, these are like these are the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse of your relationship. The habits that we're going to talk about really all fall within those categories and display that type of behavior that ultimately can lead to your relationship not continuing on, or you're just not happy. And both those things are just as bad. You may be with a person, but if you're unhappy all the time, that's not a good quality of life. Or you don't with somebody that really you could have had a good quality of life with. We just didn't get out of our own way.
Right.
Right. So let's talk about these everyday habits that undermine relationships. Okay. So withholding affection.
I did that yesterday.
I did that yesterday, actually, not you.
No, I did.
No. Let's break that down.
I slept on the couch.
I got butthurt because I was running around doing a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Because we talked about being intimate, and I wanted to make sure that is an experience we could enjoy together, and it wasn't a hurried or like not enjoyable thing.
Right.
And I know we're not going to get into details.
No. Which
is what got us in trouble this morning. The first rendition with the aggressive sarcasm.
Yeah.
Yep. But, I was trying to put a lot of effort in what was going on. And all I was thinking about was the effort that I was putting in. And you actually were able to, for the first time to kind of that day, get kind of like things in place and relax a little bit and enjoy your show. And obviously it's a banger of a show. And when I came down...
It was my first alone time.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, when I came down after I kind of like got everything ready and got the kids down and all that stuff, and I didn't realize Maeve wasn't in bed anymore and she was just downstairs coloring with you and you were letting her stay up, I was just like, forget this. And that was probably like, I just acted butthurt about it. That was totally my fault. That is 100% my fault. I was like, don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about tonight because it ain't happening, girlfriend. And I literally did do that. And you almost laughed at me. I could
because
see it
you
in your
said
face.
you weren't a piece of meat.
I did say, it's not just a piece of meat, you know? I enjoy romance too. I wanted to spend some time. That is true. I did say that. Damn
And
it.
you've never.
I'm sure I haven't never said that before.
You've never said that to me before. And I was just like, I don't know that I've ever made you feel like a piece of meat. And I wasn't prepared to have done that.
It was really funny because you did, like, your face went like that. It was like started to half smile. That's fair. I was being ridiculous. I was just upset that I knew that it just wasn't going to work out. Sometimes, you know, you put in a great game plan and you still lose the game.
And I didn't
well.
mean to have the show take over.
Oh, it's fine. It's absolutely fine.
I was still very prepared to do.
There's times people choose sleep over making love with their partner. I've been there. There's food, you eat too much. Like, I mean, it's just a general thing, right? It's just, it happens. And then also Maeve would just being a total cock block. So
she didn't go to bed till almost 11:30.
I know. So I could have just handled that with grace, and instead I did not. And then I decided I'm taking away this candy. Candy shop's closed. 50 cents. Sorry. So withholding affection, guys, learn from us.
Well, and I made it worse because I didn't feel like you
and then
wanted me around.
Why didn't you even go to bed? I just thought that was weird. I woke up and I'm like,
she
slept downstairs? I was like, I thought I was being,
on the couch.
It's being silly, but I didn't think I was being that silly. Phubbing, phone snubbing, prioritizing smartphones over face-to-face interactions can lead to feelings of neglect. This is probably the worst one for everybody, I would assume, just because you do get that on you. Yeah, especially in this day and age. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is one to be the most mindful of when you do have that 5 minutes with your partner, putting the phone away or not, you know, just in your face. Even though I know a lot of times you and I are texting each other videos, but we're not really actually truly interacting. And I think that's causing
both like
a space
on
between
our
us while we're by each other.
And we're next to each other.
Yeah.
Legit right next to each other. We're on the phone. We're sending each other videos while we're laughing on our own. And then we wait for the other person to laugh. Like, it's just, we're sharing the doom scroll.
Yeah.
And that doesn't really build closeness, or, I don't know, like, it doesn't lead to intimacy. It doesn't lead to anything. It's just adding to the doom. Yeah.
And also you have ease of access of talking or venting to somebody else. You know, you can text your friend or your brother or sister, and you're having conversations that you probably really should at least start with your partner.
Right.
All those things make things so much easier, path of least resistance, to create a neglect or create a space. It's not even like you're purposely trying to neglect, but you're just creating something where you're not doing that with your partner, and all of a sudden you're two ships in the night that are just kind of by each other in the ocean. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, sorry. Lack of gratitude. Sorry, I got lost on this page here. Fucking printing page. Lack of gratitude. Failing to acknowledge a partner's efforts can lead to resentment. I think we both do this a lot.
I think so. I didn't realize how much work you were doing last night, and
but that's not it.
Well, no, I mean, like, that's the closest example I have to it. Like, I didn't realize.
Did you see the Santa's garden candle?
I did this morning.
And I'm telling you what, it smelled really, really good. Also, the you know what the first song was on the 95 R&B list?
No.
It was TLC.
Oh, good Lord.
It was going to be good too.
I don't
think TLC.
I don't think I do a good job at telling you thank you, or just even acknowledging all the little things that add up. And that's the stuff that like matters. It's not the big stuff, it's the little stuff.
I think I can point out the bigger stuff, like, hey, you know, mom's going and working to save money for dance, doing those sorts of things. But like the small things that you affect our household with every day, I don't think I do the good job with that. And I think those things probably add up and matter much more than the big things. And plus, I'm appreciating you more. If I'm focused on the the small things that add up to, I mean, I guess we all just need to be more appreciative, because we all as couples, and I shouldn't speak for other couples, but I assume we're very similar to everybody else. Mm-hmm. We tend to focus on the 1% of things that go wrong or are bad in a day. And I think that does really take away our ability to be thankful and appreciative of the other. And that's the kind of mindset we got to get out of. And we got to be mindful and put in the work to be mindful to give those appreciations and thankfulness.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that was words, but you know what I mean. Really appreciating the partner. This was another good one too. Emotional dysregulation. So me last night. Difficulty managing emotions and can result in overreactions and misunderstandings.
I think we both do that. I fly off the handle. I will take everything super serious and super personal. I've been that way with not just you, but even the kids. Like the tone in people's voices really bothers me.
I do feel that when I am communicating something to you, I could be talking about somebody else and saying, hey, this is how they did this. And like, I don't get it. And you're like, well, I don't, when this happens with me, I don't do that. As if I was like, in a way, indirectly telling you, you shouldn't do this.
Yeah.
That is really interesting. And I know you do that with the kids too. Mm-hmm. This isn't just about you though. This is what Emily did. We all do it. And I know I am terrible about, if I get hot, and we've talked about this on the show multiple times, like I allow my anger to control me. I don't control my anger. And I tell this to Seamus all the time when we're running, because that's why, I mean, a lot of the exercise and like the self-care stuff, it's about making it easier, making ourselves harder, because the exterior environment make it easier to deal with and be able to do those things at an optimal level. Mm-hmm. I talk to him about that all the time. Like, you flip out on your sister if you would just take a breath for a moment. And I need to practice what I preach. And that's one of these things. It's like, I think we take out, it's easier to take out something or be less responsible about how we're reacting to something when we're around somebody we're comfortable with. And it should be the exact opposite. I should care less about a stranger, and I should be much more mindful about how I'm reacting to you. But we in this society don't do it. So anyway, conflict avoidance, evading disagree. You're fine. Fix your eye. I'll read.
Well, no, an eyelash just like fell onto my contact.
Oh no. Conflict avoidance, evading disagreements prevents resolution and fosters underlying tension. For me, I don't feel like that's an issue. I feel like I probably overly tend to, like, I'm not strategic about how to tackle things, and sometimes focus more on the person and not the problem. So like,
just rather it go away.
Right. So we couldn't be probably more opposite on that.
Yeah.
But I do think that there's a lot of, like, whether we're attacking the person and not the problem, and probably that's probably part of the reason why you are that way, is because of how I handle things.
No, I've been that way my whole life. I don't want to have a fight with somebody. I don't want to have conflict with anybody. I would much rather just go to a corner, chill out, everybody, and then come back together and like, oh, never
pretend
happened.
It didn't happen. But see, that's the thing. I think they're both, obviously they wouldn't be on this list. Both of those ways aren't going to get you to where you need to go.
I know. Yeah.
So whether you're avoiding it or you're way over the top about it, like, you need to find a balance of knowing when to address it, knowing when to tackle it, and make sure you're attacking the problem and controlling your emotions.
Yeah.
So we learned about all these things we're doing on a daily, and as you saw, Emily and I check all those boxes.
Sure do.
So let's talk about how we can kind of work on getting out of those things, rebuilding connection, those sorts of things. And again, or majority of this is all Gottman Institute.
Yeah.
So to counteract these detrimental habits, so they're going to happen. I think that was a good thing about the research too, is more about, here's how you mitigate the effects of those. Here's how you can kind of be more mindful to get away from them. But ultimately, you're going to have to counteract some of this stuff, because it's just going to happen. Like, we're all human beings.
It's not going to be like you do the training, you do the work, and they're going to go away. Like, these are going to be something that you have to deal with all the time.
Yeah, it's going to take a lot of discipline.
Yeah.
So practice active listening by ensuring both partners feel heard and understood. And again, that's a lot of those, I statements versus you statements. It's attacking the problem, not the person. And it is actually taking time to sit and have a conversation, even if it's a difficult conversation. I mean, it really aligns with the last couple episodes worth of stuff we've been talking about. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And being strategic and mindful about it, and working together as a team to get through it. Mm-hmm. It's so individualized when we're not doing things the right way, or we're in attack mode with each other. We're treating it like every man, woman for themselves. And that's how you can't approach a relationship. You can't approach friendships that way. You can't approach relationships that way. It is a partnership.
Yeah.
Yeah. Express appreciation regularly. I know we just had mentioned that, and I think it's really important that you acknowledge and thank your partner for their contributions, even if it's small, on a daily basis. You want to try to avoid where it seems condescending, but like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like it is important to make sure that they understand that even the littlest things, there's people that get up and let the dogs out first in the morning when it's not their day. There's just a million things that happen where you put yourself out of your comfort zone, or it's not necessarily you want to do, that you need to recognize.
Yeah.
And those things add up. Mm-hmm. Set boundaries with technology. Designate tech-free times to focus on each other. I think that like right before bed. Like, a lot of times I think like when we're getting ready for bed, that's like the time where you can sit and talk, and most everybody's settled down, or they're doing something else, or they're sleeping. This is actually a time where you can talk to each other.
Right. And instead people go directly towards their phone. So I, when we were researching all of this stuff, I kind of did a little bit more of a deep dive into some of these like strategies to rebuild and reconnect. And one of them was actually like making your bedroom or making a certain space. They just used the bedroom, and 2 or 3 of the therapists that I researched with, tech free. So like, don't have your cell phone on your nightstand. Don't have it on your dresser. Like, don't make it to where it's your alarm clock. Go get an old fashioned, like, actual alarm clock.
Like the wooden panel alarm clock. That'd be fucking
Or just like something that like,
I know, just a normal alarm clock.
Just an alarm clock.
I was just thinking of the one that everybody had in their house.
Take your phones and put them outside of the room, like put them away in a completely different area so that you can't even really go and grab them. Take your smartwatches out, like don't have any availability to something that will distract you. iPads, even my Kindle was told to leave the room. Like if you're going to read a book at night before bed or something, make it a paper copy instead of a Kindle, or an e-reader of any kind, because then you can do other things on it.
We need to try that out, because we have the walk-in closet. We can put our stuff in there and put it on the charger and all that stuff in there. We need to try that out this week and report back what type of impact that had.
We don't have an alarm clock though.
Well, can we just put the alarm still on the phone, but it's not in the room? So it's not like again, it's about avoiding the technology. If we could hear the alarm going off.
God, I
we would just have to get up and go to the closet. That'll be fine. Let's give it a shot.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why not? I think that's great. And I appreciate you doing the
well,
additional
because
deep
it's
dive
just,
in that.
it was like,
you have to set yourself up for success.
Right. Like how to make it you
want to lose weight, you probably shouldn't buy 55 snack cake boxes of things and put it around your pantry, right? The same thing with technology.
Don't buy the Twinkies.
Right, exactly. Well, there's one stalk of broccoli, and then there's 27 boxes of Twinkies.
Yeah.
What should I eat today? Exactly. That's
just
the point.
Take the smallest steps. And like one thing for the appreciation regularly was to start like a back and forth journal where you just write each other a quick note or leave a Post-it on the mirror.
That.
Like there was a tip to just keep a pad of Post-its in the bathroom.
You're sneaking these notes in. This is good. I didn't.
So that you can just jot down a quick Post-it note, and then you stick it on their mirror. Like, I don't know, or leave it like on their work computer or whatever. So
that would be nice. I like little notes. And you're a good writer.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. I would probably do like movie quotes or different R&B song lyrics.
Probably.
Yeah. Absolutely. I should start doing that. Seek professional help. Couples therapy can provide tools to navigate conflicts constructively. And again, if all else fails, having a third party that you can talk through and communicate with, and then they give you that unbiased of, here's the advice that I have based on the research and knowing how this stuff affects you as a couple. It's invaluable.
Always recommend therapy.
It is. And if you have a partner that's refusing to do that, that's a huge problem. I mean, that is something you just have to be willing to do. You have to be willing to put your guard down. Otherwise, you're just not going to give all you can give in a relationship.
Even if you think that you know everything a therapist is going to tell you and everything that they would say to do, you think you've done or are doing,
Yeah.
go to therapy.
Well, here's the thing. You could know what they're going to say, but like they're going to give their perspective on how you should own that or how you should handle that. And it likely is not going to be the way you feel it's going to be. Well, I know what we need to do. Well, how are you doing it? What's your part in that? And are you doing it the right way?
And
they're going to give
what's
their
actually
opinion on
stopping
that.
you from doing it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's not what you think it might be.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Which is why individual counseling, self-care, self-hygiene, that stuff's really important, because if you're taking care of yourself physically and mentally as well, you're able to handle these, adjusting and doing these things better, easier.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, absolutely.
Therapy.
And we actually have a challenge for our Do We Have To crew,
We
right?
do.
So we've been doing all these things in communication. We've been doing all these things in regards to bettering your relationship, whether it be your marriage, friendship, whatever it is. So we have a call to action, okay? So once a week, we challenge the Do We Have To crew. Schedule a check-in with your partner, your friend, whatever that relationship is that you want to work on and make better. Using some of these tools or being mindful of some of these pitfalls that we've been talking about, schedule a 20-minute check-in. And Emily, you got this from a counselor on Instagram, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you schedule a 20-minute once a week, and you go over the following things. It's very simple. How are you doing? What do you need more of? And I assume that's just in general. And doesn't necessarily have to be completely specific to you or what you're giving, but just what do you need in general? Where did I miss the mark this week? That's a great question. What's coming up that we should tackle together? Again, something else that if you allow it to fall into a pit of negativity and you knew it was coming, the fact that you didn't strategically bring that up in the like, these smart things that may seem obvious, but stuff I don't do. And this is from the @BlendedFamilyCoach on Instagram. So if you want to follow, we don't want to steal anybody's ideas. It's his idea.
They
and
have
it was great.
so much information on their Instagram page. I follow them for a little while now. I just think
So I highly recommend give them a follow.
It's very.
I wonder if they have YouTube. We'll have to add them, but we'll add them.
I don't know. They've become very helpful for me online. But I think we're gonna do Sundays for our 20 minutes.
I love that.
And we're gonna do the morning. They do the evening. If you watch them on their Instagram
they
page,
talk through and
do
give
the
an
evening.
example of it, right?
We prefer coffee. And our kids are less active on a Sunday than they are any other day of the week. And I feel like by the time night comes around, we've done so much during the day that we're just too tired to focus in on it. So we're going to do Sunday morning because we have more control over the rest of the day after that. So we're going to make it a top priority to do this together. And so that has to be first thing in the morning.
I know I put myself in a new position on in our little studio, also known as our dining room.
Yeah.
I keep wanting to look over at you. I hope Colin doesn't get mad about that because I'm doing my best to look into the camera, but breaking the fourth wall. But you're over there. I can see you in my eyesight.
I can't really see you.
Sorry. No, I think you bring very good points. And the thing is like from a finality perspective, right? We've talked about all these things in regards to communication. A lot of these things, in my opinion, can be resolved by really working on yourself and then taking that energy of working on yourself and then taking that same energy or the same mindset you're doing to yourself and applying it to your relationship or your friendship or your marriage.
Absolutely.
I really, guys, I can't express enough as we've been going through these things, even though these are things I've been doing negatively and you heard me say it, that they're things that I feel like I can betterly adjust to doing and be more mindful of because I'm taking better care of myself. And so you have to start with yourself first, but then doesn't mean you can't parallel to that continue working with your partner. So hopefully this information we've been talking about in regards to communication, as well as these habits and daily interactions, those are things that you guys can work through. So thank you guys for taking the time today to listen to us on that. Em, thank you for all the research. You did a great job. And thanks for the recommendation on Instagram. And I look forward to doing this nightly check-in. We'll keep people updated on it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to start wrapping up the show for today. Now, I do want to let everybody know we have continued growing our Peloton team. So shout out to Peloton. We're starting, dare say we're starting to get a big crew here going. We'll have to do something once we hit 100 because we're starting to get in those waters. But we have a full team strong. Just want to give a quick update on our last week. People have done a ton of job, but we did have for the first time. Krabby Cakes has been dethroned since we started announcing this. So, and we have so many team members now. We have a top 20 instead of a top 10. So, really quickly,
we're not going to name
for
all
just
20.
total time. I'm going to run through this real quick. It'll take me 30 seconds.
Okay.
We have for the week of June 16th through June 22nd. We have our top Barbie gal from Kansas City. She worked out 14 hours and 57 minutes. So she worked out over 2 hours a day, which is awesome. Krabby Cakes, second place. I know you're training for a marathon. We wish you the best of luck. 11 hours, 12 minutes. Relentless KC, 10 hours and 38 minutes. Do We Have to Pod KC, which is me, 9 hours, 24 minutes. Just being lazy. Stacy Osterthen, hopefully I didn't butcher your last name, 8 hours, 32 minutes. Fit Queen Lisa from Overland Park, Kansas, 7 hours, 39 minutes. Michaela Bryan, a regular, an oldie, a classic, 7 hours and 34 minutes. Kelsey List from Guardwood, Texas, 6 hours and 32 minutes. Go Unicorn Go out of Kansas City, 6 hours and 25 minutes. Look at these numbers. These are great. Not a Runner Katie, Iowa Rays, Kansas teacher, 5 hours and 42 minutes. Casey Lawma, which I love, 5 hours and 32 minutes. Raising Cane 08 from Maryville, Missouri, 3 hours and 54 minutes. Vito 63 out of Mississippi, 3 hours and 44 minutes. Crazy Spin Legs out of Orlando, 3 hours and 36 minutes. Chiefs Chick 816, Kansas City, Missouri, 2 hours and 55. Orange Girl 56, 2 hours and 34 minutes. Mommy Thighs, hour and 50 minutes. Katie Mack out of Nebraska, hour 48 minutes. Lydia Bordeaux, Seattle, Washington, hour 32. Anna from Ottawa, Canada, welcome. Hour and 30 minutes. So congrats, guys. Like
nice.
that is awesome. Everybody is putting in effort. I mean, even if you think about it, 90 minutes in a 7-day week, you're working out at least almost 15 minutes a damn day. And that's any little bit is something that's just great.
I got to figure out how to get my Aura ring to track it for me.
Yeah, absolutely. But hey guys, continue. So we have a team. It's a Do We Have To crew. We also have a hashtag. You can put like your label of your deal. Yeah. That's Do We Have To as well. Follow me. I am Do We Have To Pod KC. Emily, what's yours again? I'm sorry.
Emily,
because you changed it. Emily and Casey.
Well, it's Emily _in_ Casey.
Right. Yeah. And so follow us, join our team. We have a monthly challenge right now of workout days in June. And that is going well. Everybody's doing a good job participating. And of course, we announce on the show weekly. Everybody's, now we're going to be announcing our top 20 because we have so many team members.
Nice.
Yeah. So socials, you want to hit that up? How can you reach us?
You can follow us on Instagram, Threads, and Facebook at do.we.have.to. You can follow us on X/Twitter at Do We Have To.
Well, I will say on X, I will only be challenging Jason Kelsey to a 5K and Burt Kreischer to an MMA fight. And I will continue doing that. Be on the lookout here soon. Colin and I are working on a video. We even have a couple montage videos we plan on doing. We're just working that out. Be prepared. Goodness. Sorry, go ahead.
TikTok is at Do We Have To A Marriage Pod. Again, YouTube is where we are.
Our video
our
format of the show
I guess.
Yeah.
And that's at youtube.com at Do We Have To A Marriage Podcast. You can also hashtag us on all of our socials with SPKM for your Sour Patch Kid moments. You can hashtag us with the Do We Have To crew.
And then dowehavto.com. You can get updates on the show. You can submit a question to the show.
Comments, all of that.
That is our home website. So feel free to go out there. And of course, Emily does our monthly book club. That is out there. Information on that book as well. Yeah. So guys, with that being said,
Sean actually is picking this next book. So
I am. We're going to be, It Was All a Dream, which is the Notorious Big Story, which I'm actually very excited about it. So be on the lookout for that. We'll be providing information on our website. And this episode will be going out here and it'll be available on June, 26th? No, 27th. June 27th. I don't know. So, again, Do We Have To crew? I will leave you with this. The magic you're looking for is in the work you're avoiding.
Ooh.
What do you got, Em?
I've got to start doing research on these.
What do you mean doing research? It's just things you hear. I honestly, there was a TikTok video that I heard, but it's the truth. It's what we've been talking about all day, right? It's not so much that you don't know how to do it. It's that we're avoiding working on it. And the things that we want to have happen in life, it's from the work we're avoiding. When it's not happening because it's from the work we're avoiding. If we do the work, those things will happen. We just live in an instant gratification society, and we got to get the fuck away from it.
Okay. May your coffee be stronger than your toddler today.
I love that.
Because that's really all I've got.
You know what I really wanted you to say there? And what? I would have just fallen out of my chair if you would have said it.
What?
Be excellent to each other from Bill and Ted.
I've never seen it.
All right, well, we'll deal with that offline. Do we have to crew? Have a wonderful day. Don't be an asshole. Love you, Roosevelt.
Wake up, I'm about to shake up every little thing, show you all that we can be. Come dance in my glow.